There's going to be a event going on here in a couple days. In theory, this is done beforehand. In theory.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children!
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
For all
forest.
the elementals!
If you'll permit me, Alfie no. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
You sound exhausting. You sound exhausting. The Gridanians are unfortunate to have contended with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition, and won't summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians. Until recently, at least. Alas, they have grown aloof. A change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ramu. The Gridanians have no love of war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may rest assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are yet bound by a peace treaty. No one wonders how long it will be before that is broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come all-out war, and when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them? Well, perhaps we will find out if the Elder Seedseer's words fell on fertile ground. She didn't say much. Where'd those kids go? Everybody just cleared out. Well, she said go to Ul'dah next, and you guys said I was picking Limsa. All right. Oh, I gotta go to the hall. Listening strip. Chamber of Rule. Beautiful thing. Okay. Dun 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 dun. There's not that many people here. I expected a larger crowd. Oh, there they are. I walk very slowly.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore.
Hurrah! Rauban!
Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold, where by the grace and glory of Nalthal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
This needs a graphics update.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice. Yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Uldar stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you, line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Uldar, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Uldar. As Uldar prospers, so shall her people.
Ja, for Uldar!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Raubon? People of Uldar, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Uldar. Yet those who measured that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Uldar, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the Inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
Fancy meeting you again.
Alright, Lord Snarky, what do you want? The Uldans have a long history of conflict with the Amal-Jar, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Uldans do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So they have dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he's stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves. The Uldar has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. You can trust us to know our mother pays for everything. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amal-Jar are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Uldans spend their forces to smite the primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition, and they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventure of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. There we go. You think they're contractually obligated? Maybe. remasters happen. There are some etiquettes to be followed in the voice acting community. So, like, if they offer the old... So, like, in voice acting, it's kind of taboo to take another voice actor's job if they offer to the other voice actor turns down for, like, terms. You're supposed to kind of let that other voice actor, like, resolve that and have some leverage there. But, like, if the other voice actor doesn't want anything to do with it, or they want to go in a totally different direction, I think the bigger issue is that voice acting is very expensive. And if they're going to go back and re-voice act things, I would hope they'd add more languages, like Spanish. Alright. Last stop. La Nocia. But they did say in an interview that they didn't want to go back and do it because, like, even if they did set aside the time, they're afraid that that time would be perceived as, like, oh, this is why we didn't get stuff in the current content. So, like, they really want to stay forward-focused. It doesn't mean never. I mean, the duty support system means that they are working, but just context. All right. Last one. Zanfail. Here to attend the remembrance service. Be quick. The Admiral is due to give her address at any moment.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride.
So, their banner got to be more detailed than Ulda's because sprite-wise, it's duplicated. So it's only half a banner texture-wise. So it's mirrored. So you can see the line it's mirrored on. So it's got a lot more fidelity in it. It looks way better.
700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Okay, hold on. Uncontested ruler of the 5 seas. What 5 seas? So, Bloodbrine, Rotano, Ash Jade. Where does Bloodbrine start and stop? Siren Song? What 5? Do they come as far north as the Northern Empty? They're down here. Like, what is happening here? Okay, so there's... Limsa is here. Now the Rotano, right here. Does Aetheris have oceans? Yes. Yes. I will show you. Oceans. So, there are some huge expanses. So I believe Limsa to be at like 58 minutes. Okay, so I believe that to be Limsa. So there's Ul'dah, Gridania, Alamigo, Ishgard. So Old Charlayan is right here. Right? Maps of the oceans labeled? Yeah, but that's the map I just had up. Yeah, that's the map I just had up. Okay, but like, let's assume the Indigo Deep is just this section here. Or it's responding to like a hole, like there's a big hole in, if you've never seen this, the Great Blue Hole in Belize. So let's assume the Indigo Deep is not a sea. So the Blood Brine is probably here. And takes you out to whatever ocean this is that takes us out this direction. Right? So this ocean here. This is the Glass Ocean. The Glass Ocean is here. This is the Glass Ocean. So that's Kugane. That's Doma. Right? So I believe that to be Limsa. So what 5 freaking C's? She just throws that out there? No backing it up. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know. Do they come as far out as Siren Song? Has Limsa been going to Thavnair? Maybe. Thavnair's a major trading hub. So Thavnair is the trading hub that links the east and the west. So it is possible that Vilebrand comes all the way to Siren Song, which naturally means they would have Sea of Ash and Sea of Jade. Sea of Jade being this here. Sea of Ash being this here. Probably split by the Drown and then these, which remember this map's inaccurate. These probably come further out. Ratano is in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so if they're trading between the old Charlayan Gleaners and Thavnair, this is what they own. That's a big area. So that is... That's Charlayan, right there. So that is from here all the way... From here all the way to there. That band. And beyond, but there's nothing freaking out here. Like, unless they're going down to, what is this, Mercidia? So this is Mercidia, right? As places that we know we're going to go that we haven't been. This is Mercidia. This is Corvos. And then... This is the New World. But she claimed the 5 Cs, which means she is not aware or does not care about anything that would be labeled a C, like over here. So it is likely Thavnair to Old Charlayan is kind of their bread and butter. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Alright. Carry on. Sorry. We've been getting distracted today. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from a humbling fishing village to the uncontested ruler of the Five Seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The Crimson Field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the Black Longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our Grand Company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
They are. That's where they go. They go to the ethereal sea. Not the sea, not the one of the five seas you're thinking of. It's
freedom.
Way down.
Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all!
Long live the Admiral!
Admiral Melvin!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the 7 hells, Admiral!
Oh.
Fancy meeting you again.
God, your voice actor just makes me hate you. You sound so bratty. Oh. Fancy meeting you again here. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, the Limsa Lamensa is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagan worshippers of the primal Leviathan. They both smell dreadful. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal titan for their god. They're so dirty. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Lamenson's backyard. And that is to say not of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. If the Lomensons are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect that they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words. The Maelstrom Standard will be drenched in a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. I didn't say the voice acting was bad. I said that it made me not like him. It's fine. It conveys a ton of personality. It makes him a bratty little child. Ugh. I've seen so much of the world and I know better. All of these people managing their resources. How pedestrian. I find it's easier to use mother's money. Great. Why the hell are you following me around? Meteor, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope? Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has now concluded? I know they're really important, that's why I didn't go. A moment ago you say, what a coincidence, I just finished my show. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted though they are to have them here in the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back, they've been staring at me this whole time. Alright. Pray return! I have liked Merleweb every time I've interacted with her. And I don't know if we get to interact with her in Heavensward and Stormblood, but God, I hope so. I liked her so much Shadowbringers and Beyond. I've liked her through ARR. I like Merleweb every time. You guys picked Limsa anyway, so. Let's go be pirates! So. Hey guys, you just been standing here staring at Minfilia as a group? That's not weird or creepy at all. You just been taking stealing glances. You could have waited out there. There's a waiting room to the right out there, like a little break room. So you just go out here, and then you just You just take a right. You just come right out here. No big deal. And then you just take this, like, immediate right. And there's, like, a break room down here. And you could have come down here and hung out, made yourself comfortable with everybody else. I don't actually know what's up here. Minphilia's private quarters, maybe. But instead, what did you do? You stood there, and you stared at Minphilia while I was gone. Which, like, was at least a day. Like, assuming travel is instant. Assuming they expect Aetheryte travel versus... what if I'd taken airships? Airship-wise, I went from here to Gridania to Ul'dah to Limsa back. Which, like, it's somewhere here-ish. Maybe. I don't know where it falls within the Cinderfoot River. Cinderfoot River. I don't know where that falls. I'm in Western Thanland, right? The Footfalls. Cape Westwind. So that goes... So there's Ul'dah. So, yeah, that's where it was. Yeah. Yeah, so it's out here. What is happening? Apparently Gridania's in Alamigo. That's Alamigo. That's Gridania. They're both up there. Gridania. Alamigo. They're right next to each other. But yeah. What the heck? And they just stood here. Like complete creepers. In order of creepiness. The one that can peek behind her dress. Twin Adder here. Right here. Right peek behind her desk here. Number 2. The one that can still see her entirely within the chair. Number 3, least creepy, can still see her from the knee up. You guys are awful. I'll choose least number creepy door over here. Welcome back, Meteor. Where were the Grand Company's leader's words as illuminating as you'd hoped? Each nation has been beset with problems. I trust you now see why your services are in such demand. Would that were more of you, Meteor. But you must be tired from your jury. Why don't you rest a while, take a moment to reflect on your decision. Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer.
The gods only know what Grand Company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
I thought maybe post in offer I'd like him more.
Are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and 7th Umbral era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alisaie, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the 7th Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy, If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience.
Your grandfather is dead.
There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
As of now, that's what they've implied the whole time.
We are to escort you.
He's gone.
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.